What's up? Let's get Maps in here. Robert Maps is our guest tonight. First night ever doing this. Let's see how it goes, right? What's up? What's up? Let's get Maps. Let me see where Maps is. Paging Robert Maps. What's up, everybody? What's up, Poof? What's up, Xavier? Jay, what's up? Silver EK. Waiting for that Robert Maps. Hello. What up? What up, Leo? How you guys doing tonight? This is gonna get good. Robert Maps came back to Instagram just for this, so you know he's got a lot to say. What's up, everybody? Elevation, I see you. Moho. Waiting on Maps. I just FaceTimed him like 5 minutes ago, so I know he's ready. What's up, John? What's up, Dan? Other people are sending me requests to be in the live. We got waiting on Maps. If Maps doesn't come, what are we gonna do? We're gonna have to talk about other stuff, right? He's coming. I just talked to him right before this, so unless he's leaving us out to. What up, Andy? Zach, Speed Factory. Zach, what's up, man? Will, how you doing, man? John Roach. We're gonna have him joining.
You're in the Matrix right now.
There we go. Is it better?
Yeah, I see you somewhat, like you're spotty, and the audio is like in and out.
Uh-oh. What's going
You're
on?
better now. You're better now.
It's better now?
Yeah, you're better now.
House, I guess. That's weird. Showing me that I have Wi-Fi. You got Wi-Fi?
Yeah, I see you. My connection is good.
All right, we good? It's working good on Maps, but not on my end, huh? That's some shit.
I can see you, but you're like, a little grainy, but you're moving.
Yeah.
Everything is
Let me check my router real quick. Let me check the router. I know it was working perfect because we just checked it.
Yeah, we was on FaceTime.
Give me 1 second, guys.
I'm ready for bed over here. Shit.
Yeah, it's late. We are going to have to do this earlier. Let me see if I can. How's it now?
Yeah, I'm good.
Am I better?
Still a little like grainy, but your movement is good. The audio is pretty good.
I just reset the router and the Wi-Fi just jumped all the way back up, so it should be good. I mean, I can hear you and I can see you perfectly.
Yeah, just sit the camera down because it got super good just now.
There you go. I'm staying just like this.
Okay, we're good.
Sorry for that, guys. Little delay. It's only 4 minutes in, so yeah, we got a shitload of people. We're already top live. I think there's over 500 people in it. Yeah, 550. That's pretty cool. Where do you want to start? I guess we should start with you winning this last event, man. That was big. I didn't even, I don't think many people saw it coming because it's a small event, but you guys definitely put in a lot of work. I saw you working your ass off all weekend on the car.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we could start there this past weekend, and then we'll start there and just go backwards, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So this past weekend, we were at Cecil County, Import Invasion 5, I believe it was.
Oh, yep.
I still work and drive for Norris Prey Tune. So we, scheduled the race. The race was set up. That was a rain date. The original date was canceled, so the rain date was on Father's Day.
Yeah.
Caught a little heat for that. I got two young boys, 1 6 and 1 2. and they were both looking forward to Father's Day. My older one had he's in day camp now because school is already out in Florida, so they had like a daddy day at his camp, and he was upset that I wasn't going.
On
But
Friday.
yeah, he was a little upset because I already had left. My flight was early Friday morning. But got there, lined the cars, scaled the cars, make sure everything is right, check over everything. Norris does a little thing on the dyno, make sure everything is okay. Load the
What day
cars
do you
up.
fly in? What day did you fly in? Thursday or Friday? You said
Friday morning.
Friday.
Got there early Friday morning, 8 o'clock.
You lose a day of regular work too.
Yeah, showed up. Just went over the cars, made sure everything is good. My part, his part. Loaded the cars up and headed for the track. Got to Cecil Friday night, camped out. Saturday morning, set up. It was a hot weekend.
Yeah, it was really hot.
Yeah, it was hot. I mean, a lot of people were complaining that it was super, super hot. But
you're from Florida, so
yeah, but it wasn't Orlando in the summer hot, but it was hot.
no.
It was like 85. It wasn't bad.
It was just as hot at Orlando in the spring when I was down there.
Yeah, so it was nice. There was a couple cars there. Rolando DP, love those guys are always awesome. They had that. Rome's car, DPS, Fluffy with Bobo driving, Wes, Jason Hunt, Marsh, just a bunch of top.
I find it super crazy that the Canadians come down even for the smaller events,
Yeah.
But events are events, so it's cool that they came to look at him. He went to the finals.
Yeah, so JF Kelly was there, and he's no walk in the park. He had some issues this weekend, and he has some transmission issues, but that car is fast. Like he flies.
Yeah.
It was
He's been at 30.
Yeah, it was a full 16 car field. But after Saturday, a lot of people, unfortunately, Jason Hunt had an accident. He was okay. The car was wrecked, and it sucked. A lot of people hurt the car. Some people was like, you know what, tomorrow's Father's Day, we're going home. So a lot of people left. And then the ladder came out. The pairing came out for Sunday for eliminations. I was on the opposite side of the ladder of a lot of the faster cars in the class. Yeah. I was on the same side of EP. And then I was, of course, if I was to advance past first round, I would have to race my teammate, Jonathan Reynolds, which I can't speak for anybody else. I just don't want to race him. Like, he is.
Yeah. Is he the least, out of all the racers that compete currently, right? Or even ever, who are like the top 2 or 3 that you least want to line up against?
Number 1 is always Jonathan Reynolds.
Is that because he's a teammate, though, or just
no? Not even because if he was a teammate, my strategy would be a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? Because I wouldn't care. But since he's a teammate, I have some oh, it's my teammate. I don't know how to explain it. I guess I'm soft.
You get soft.
I'm soft. You know what I'm saying? But that's no excuse. Even if I wasn't on the same side as him, he would have got me.
You told me after the race, you said, you were like, I thought he'd take it easy on me because I'm his teammate. He's like, cold as ever. Cold as ever.
Cold, dude. But he's so good. He's so good.
In my video, you can see him doing this in the car as he's pulling up to you.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah, he's really good. So he screwed me. He screwed with me on the light. He got me really good, and of course he left on me on the light. He got out the line first. We left. That was the second round. First round I had to buy. There was a couple cars that broke on my side. Reynolds I had second round. We raced. He got out in front. He left first, and then we both took off second, third. When I wear Hans, so the Hans is like it's a neck brace, and it connects to your helmet, and you can't turn your head. Your head keeps your head really straight, and the seatbelts go over it, so it keeps it really tight to your chest. And I couldn't turn, so I couldn't see him, and he was next to me the whole time. We get to fourth gear, and the crank sensor fucks up. It starts acting up, and the car starts like hitting the limiter. Boop, 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 boop.
I could hear it in my video, actually. I went.
Yeah, at 1,000 feet. And then I see his nose poke out right next to me. Like, now I can see him in my peripheral. I'm like, oh, shit. And we just passed the finish line. So in my head, the first thought is like, damn, he fucking got me. I was like, the car runs flawless all the time. And all of a sudden, now I have problems. Reynolds is the greatest of all time. Even the car is scared of him.
Yeah.
So we passed the finish line. I look up at the wall, and at the end of that track, they have wind lights on the wall on your side. So I seen the wind light, and I was just relieved. And Norris comes over the radio. Good job, guys, but he don't say who won. And then Reynolds goes, great race. You got me. Great race. And we pull a return road, and he's like, I thought
Wait, you could talk to each other?
Yeah, we could talk to each other too. Yeah.
Oh man, that's
So
pretty dope. I didn't know that.
Yeah, we talk to each other all the time. Like,
I thought you could only talk to Norris or like, you know.
no, we talk to each other over the radio. So like, it's pretty funny because like we'll laugh and joke right before, and like this is not the first time I had to race Reynolds, and the first time he's fucked me up off the line. We raced at ACO at the last race or the race before.
You did.
Pan Am's maybe, I don't remember what it was, but we raced before, and I was trying to treat him like he was a stranger, right? Like I'm a little like I'm colder at that point. I'm like, okay, I got his ass, you know. And Norris comes over the radio, and Norris is like, stop screwing around, like that. So I'm like, shit, the boss is yelling at us now.
Yeah. Norris screws around though.
Yeah, I just go in, I light the first bulb, and he just fucking kills me.
Norris lined Reynolds up with a fucking ice cream cone this weekend.
He did.
Last year at that event, it was Reynolds Campos in the finals.
Yeah, we had to swap the final drive in the Clutch Masters car last year, right before the final. And Mark B, GP1, RS Tech, they gave us a final drive to swap. And we pulled the tranny out the car, swapped it, and put it back together to make that last round. And Reynolds won last year.
Do you see any difference from last year to this year working with the team now? Like now that you've had met like more than a year's time with them, like this is your second time at the same events with them. Like, do you find that the preparation's different, or like you're even just the way you interact with each other, knowing what to do and whose role's what?
Well, I can tell you this: the biggest thing that I learned last year was my second year, so this is the third year that I've been racing with them.
Third year.
Yeah, and the biggest thing that I learned with Norris, which is very important, people don't understand, is you don't got to be the fastest. Like especially sport front wheel drive, like it's about keeping the car together and being consistent. And
Yeah.
it's hard to understand because naturally, as any racer, you want to be number one qualifier. You want to be the fastest. You want to have everybody covered.
Yeah.
And he'll beat that shit into your head like, bro, calm down. We're gonna be good. But it gets in your head. And that's the biggest thing I take from
definitely. I've seen consistency win more events than a record. Like the fastest car at the event rarely win some. It's to be the fastest and the most consistent is a very tough task.
Yeah.
I remember seeing Steve-O win Honda Day with black fenders, standing on top of his car and in his underwear, just because he had a consistent car. It wasn't even the fastest; just everyone else broke.
Yeah.
So people hold it together. That's cool. I didn't realize it was even your third year, I guess. So you swap seats a lot,
Yeah, I make the joke a lot. I'm a clutch bench player. I come off the bench and I try.
What do you prefer, all motor or sport front? Do you obviously the competition's better in sport front, but what car do you enjoy better?
The all motor stuff is a lot easier to drive. You don't have to worry about anti-lag, the car bogging. You don't have to worry about if fucking VTC is not working. A lot of people don't understand. The car, the way the car reacts to when you launch, the tune has a lot to do with how good your lights are. You know what I'm saying? If you always consistent and you always stage in the car shallow, but now the tune-up is different, the light could be slower or it could be faster, depending on how lazy it is when you come off the clutch. Like that shit affects the car. So all motor is way more consistent and easier to drive than a sport front wheel drive car.
Yeah. So you're just not as many things come into play on an all motor car, so less chance.
Yeah, exactly, and it's a lot easier to drive. It's easier to drive an all motor car for sure.
All right, let's get into some better questions. Who's your favorite teammate?
My favorite teammate?
If you had to pick one teammate to save.
My favorite teammate. Damn, that's gonna be really tough.
I'm putting it on right now.
So my favorite teammate.
I know it's Angel.
Yeah, I was gonna say Angel because me and Angel go really far back.
That's what I want you to get into, because you and Angel telling the story together was probably better than you telling it even by yourself. But the history that you and Angel have, and with that car that you won with, I find that story amazing. So definitely go back to, like, when did you meet Angel? When was the first time you and Angel remember running into each other?
The first time I met Angel, if most people don't know who that is,
Yeah, I was gonna
Angel's the engine builder. You know, he works for Prairie Tune Racing. He builds the engines and stuff. He's kind of like a crew chief. You know, Norris is usually the crew chief, but sometimes Norris races. But Angel runs a lot of the show. Like he's
That's his own car. That's his personal car.
Yeah, Angel owns the Clutch Masters car, also known as Goldie. I met Angel in 2005, maybe, '05, and he's from the Bronx. I'm from Yonkers, New York, so we real close. We were close, you know. We live close to each other, and he always had that car. That car was Goldie, and it was a street car. And at that time, I think he was already living in Maryland or something. He would drive up from Maryland in that car and street race all the time. And back then, I had my own personal. It was a daily back then. It was, you know, my red Civic, and it eventually became a sport from a drive car. But back then, it was a regular car, turbo. And one time, you know, we talking shit back and forth to each other, and we wound up racing on the street. And it was an all-night thing. We went from the Hudge to the Bruckner, Bronx River, and then we wound up on the Sawmill. We raced, you know, trying to get the race off because the money was locked in. You know, you can't back out or you got to pay half. It was a bunch of drama.
You guys weren't friends at this point. It was competitive street racing.
Well, yeah, we were cool with each other. You know?
Civil, but on different teams.
Exactly. And we tried to get the race off, and, you know, it didn't happen. The sun is coming up, and I wound up breaking an axle on after one of the burnouts or trying to test launch it or something. And they tied my car up. It was actually, I tied my car up actually to Aki's Grand Marquis, and they pulled me off the highway, off the Sawmill, and I went a different way than Angel went, and Angel got pulled over in his car, and county police stopped him, and his boy had a red Civic that looked just like mine. They both had Maryland plates, so they took both cars. His car, of course, has slicks on it and shit, and I guess there was a video camera in the car and all that. It had the burnouts and the test launches from the whole night.
They had evidence.
Dude, the shit was all over the news, Channel 7, Channel 4. They took his car, they took the other car, and the news kept saying, like, both cars, you know, were impounded. But I got away, but the other car looked just like my car. So they kept showing it on the news and shit. And we go that far back. You know what I'm saying? We go really far back. That's 15 years ago, maybe, something like that, 12 years ago.
And that's the same car that's running in sport front-wheel drive.
Yeah, that's the exact same car
last weekend and this weekend.
That's the exact same car that I race. So
that is incredible.
We have some history, yeah.
That car's got miles.
Yeah, that car's got a lot of miles.
The way Angel takes pride in his work and everything that he does, even the cooking that we had, you made a post about it before. His cooking's top-notch, the way he works on the car. And he's been doing it longer than just about anybody in the pits.
Yes.
So he's people don't know who he is. I tried to get Angel to do this with me, like Robert Maps and Angel, maybe half an hour each, and Angel's he's not that guy. So you know.
Yeah, the problem is Angel probably wanted to do it, but he's really old, so he doesn't know how to work like electronics and stuff. You know
he's old.
And he had like the wind up phone and shit back in the day.
Yeah, he still got the flip phone. No, this past weekend was good though. I definitely enjoy hanging out with the whole Prairie Tune team. I understand why you enjoy it so much. You know, how did you end up driving for Prairie Tune Racing? Like, did Norris just call you one day? Is that how that?
So the way I wound up driving for the Prairie Tune team and working with Norris is my wife was friends with his wife, and she just asked his wife if I could drive, and it was crazy. It just happened just like that.
Dawn, you the MVP.
It was just like that. It was just like that.
If it wasn't for Dawn, where would we be?
It was just like that.
No. So I've been racing for quite a few years.
Wow.
I've been racing for a long time. And on the track, I've been racing since 2007, and I had my own personal cars. And up until like 2011, I didn't have my own personal car no more. I sold that. I was done. And that put a lot of strain on the relationship with me and my wife, the car stuff, having your own car, maintaining your own car, going to the track every weekend, working on your own shit, coming out of pocket. There's a lot of money, a lot of time. So I decided I didn't want it no more. Gonna try
That
to
was
work.
the blue all motor car, correct?
No, that was my sport front-wheel drive Ready G.
Oh,
And,
earlier than that.
yeah, that was in 2010, and 10 was the last full year. So World Cup 2010. And I stopped with that, sold it. I was done. I'm not going to race no more. Forget it. I'm going to work on the relationship with my wife. It wound up not working out. We still split up. And in 2011, I was just a fucking knucklehead. I went street racing all the time again. I wound up in Connecticut with Showtime. I had a bunch of these younger kids than me. They want to be street racing, all the time. So I just showed them everything I knew, and we went and raced their cars all the fucking time. And then, I helped Pepsi still. I was racing with Jose Bello with his all motor car pretty much 2 years when I had my sport front-wheel drive car. That was when Chris Miller was at like the top of the game when it was outlaw. And it was him and Pepsi, me, Kevin Van Atten. Ramy was around back then too. He had his coupe. And Miller used to tune his car back then. It was the green EK coupe. And he was mad. He was so mad back then because his car was so slow. He used to run like 930s. And he had an outlaw car. He used to fucking yell at Miller and flip out. My car should be going as fast as yours. It was so crazy. And
That's funny.
so after that, I stopped. And, I continued to help Pepsi, even though I was being a knucklehead out.
You guys, I got to say, I'm from Long Island, so I'm close to all this. And you guys had something really badass going on for those couple of years there between Miller, Bella, and myself. I remember going to barbecues at NRG and Tom over there. You guys killed it, though. Like the whole industry, everything was NRG. I mean, it was cool that it was so close to home.
Yeah, exactly. So, so I continue to help Pepsi throughout the years, and I'm trying to get to the point of how I started driving for Norris. But
a long history. It was more than just a wife relationship. So he talk about.
Yeah, he decided he didn't want to race in all motor no more. He was going to focus on his business, and it was taking up too much time. So he's like, "Fuck this." So he offered me to buy the car. Of course, I didn't have all the money to buy the car because it was a ridiculous amount of money. It was a turnkey top of the field all motor car. So Chris Harris was like, "Hey, let's go at it together. We'll work at it together." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." So Chris Harris is a successful businessman, so he has the money to fucking lay out for whatever. So Chris Harris is like, "Cool, we'll do it. We'll be partners." Okay, cool. So we do that. We get the car in the end of 2012 maybe, right before World Cup. We blow the motor up, fucking sky high on the dyno.
Jesus. On the dyno?
On the dyno. So we
don't think anyone ever knew that.
Yeah, I think it dropped the valve. We did something stupid. I don't know. But we blew it up right away. Didn't make World Cup that year. The next year, we put another motor together. Pepsi helped us out. Drag Cartel was, a part of the program when Pepsi owned it. Said, "Hey, we want to work with you, blah, 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 blah." Back then, Ford Piston wanted the same thing. "Hey, we want to work with you, Rob." And I liked them. I thought they were, really good. I was like, you know what? Maybe we should do it. And Pepsi was just like, "I don't think it's a good idea. Drag Cartel been helping us. Let's stick with Drag Cartel. I think their shit is way better. Ford Piston shit is not as good." So I'm like, okay. So we stuck with Drag Cartel. We got the car back together. Went out and tested the first week in April, right before Honda Day at ACO. Very first pass, the car did some stupid shit in first gear. I let off. He go over the tune, fix it, got it running. Bam, 9 seconds, all motor. It was like the second all motor 9-second car ever.
Because Bella was always stuck on that 10-10.
Yeah, it was the greatest thing of all time. Great.
Yeah.
So we ran that whole year with the car. I won Honda Day, and I had to race Lon, which is Norris's wife, at Honda Day.
Oh, man.
Pepsi was like, "Listen, she's going to come tell you good luck. Don't say nothing to her. She's going to get in your head." And I would think it's all bullshit, right? I'm like, it's all bullshit. But now that I'm with the team, they're like mental ninjas, all of them.
The Preuto team,
all awesome at that shit.
There's
They're
They have
great.
witchcraft going
They're,
on.
they're fucking great mental ninjas. They're
That,
great.
that's why people call them cheaters, because they have that shit that you
They're good.
can't explain.
They're good. So I ignored her. I was like being as stupid as I could be, and we raced in the finals. I win the race, and after that was the relationship with Norris. Like I won the race. We started talking back and forth. He's like, "You got a strain gauge on the car?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "How's your 330 so fast?" I was like, "Chris Harris is the greatest of all time," and all that bullshit. And then after that year, there was no more car. We were moving to Florida. Cars getting sold. We needed a house, time to grow up, and I got kids and shit now. Mega was born, all this crazy shit. So I moved to Florida, and I was still talking back and forth with Norris, but there were Chris Miller was actually that was like in the time I think Chris Miller was starting to drive for them.
I was over there.
They were like teasing and shit on Facebook about who could drive for Pre-Owned Tune, and I used to be like, I want to drive, and like at that point I realized like how much of a piece of shit somebody. I'm not gonna say no names. I'm not trying to bash anybody, but they would say that I wasn't a good look for something, but they were better look, right? So that was the first opportunity I didn't get to drive for Pre-Owned Tune. I wound up driving for IPG Parts. It
Great.
was the Q Street car.
Yeah, the gray hatch.
Yeah, that was a big deal because that car was around in the NHRA Sport Compact days, and damn, I'm drawing a blank all of a sudden. I'm saying all these names, I'm forgetting. John Ferguson drove the car.
Okay, wow, that's far back.
They won the first, I think, Northeast or East Coast Division NHRA front wheel drive championship with that car. So I was like, it's kind of a big deal, right?
Yeah.
Like, let me drive. I would like to drive it. So I drove it, wound up putting the car back together. The first time we went out and tested it, the car went way faster than he was supposed to go. He was excited. So James spent some money on it, and I drove that car in 14. And then after that was over, me and Nora started talking again about driving. And he was like, hey, I got this spot open. Would you be interested? And you want to work? And I said, yeah. So that was how it, as long.
Just kind of timing. Timing had to be right more than anything.
It was a lot of years, but it wasn't as simple as my wife calling his wife and saying, "Yo, my husband wants to drive, bro."
Would you have moved to Virginia if he had asked you sooner when you still were going from Yonkers?
Oh no,
Hell no.
hell no.
Well, do you enjoy living in Florida versus living up here in New York?
Yes, I love Florida, and I wouldn't have done nothing. I wish I would have moved here sooner.
Yeah, it's very. I mean, I like it down there. I just can't. There's snakes and lizards and shit, and I don't play with that. But
yeah, so it's pretty funny how you're raised, because I was in the city. I was a city kid. I was born and raised. I grew up in Yonkers, New York, and I'm not used to anything like in the wild and shit. So you hear lizards running through bushes and grass and shit when you walk in, and the first thing you do is jump, right? You're like, oh my God. And my kids don't know nothing but that. So when Mega walks by, I'm a grown ass man, and I jump when I hear shit in the bushes.
Yeah.
Walking like, what are you doing, bro? It's
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's messed up. Yeah, it's all about how you're raised, right? If you're not scared of it when you're young. I don't know. I'll still bug out. I saw a snake once. I freaked out.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how. So when you do leave now, obviously you have to travel a lot more. You probably travel more than you used to earlier in your career because you're in Florida and all the events are back up here. And on top of it, you have kids and a wife and a house. How does that? It's kind of a deep question, I guess. But how does it affect like the home life?
Right before I answer that question, I seen Wes Spree said something about I wish I could just show up and tear someone else's shit up. I just wanted to make a point to that real quick. That is exactly what I do, and that's always been the goal of, I don't know what anybody else thinks, because like earlier on, people used to be like, oh, you don't even own your own car or drive your own car. That was always like a thing. And like, even when I had my own car, the goal was always to drive somebody else's shit. I only had to build my own car because nobody would just let some fucking punk kid come up and say, yo, let me drive your car. I could do this, this, and that. So you always have to build your own shit, spend your own money, drive your own shit.
I mean, even Chapulin and Ramey, they build their own cars, and to drive them, you actually have a better deal.
Yeah, I mean, I did that. I got that shit out the way, right? I mean, I didn't want to, I got that out the way, and the end goal is always to get to that position, right, where you you get to drive something for someone, and it's a job. You know what I'm saying? Like, you show up, clock in, do your job, and clock out. That's all.
NHRA drivers they rarely work on the car. I mean, you work on your car, but
Oh yeah, I work. I work. I like to be a part of it.
they have sponsors, and the team has proven themselves to gain those sponsors, and those are the people that cover some of the expenses. So
I mean, back to the question about moving and all that. So yeah, I travel a lot more now because I'm in Florida. So that's pretty hard. Thank God. I've been with my wife so long, and we've been through so much, so she understands and she knows. I got her pregnant twice, and she's pretty much trapped. So she
she's trapped.
So, I got a good woman. I got a good woman. She takes care of the kids when I'm gone.
All right, so ask her real quick. Is it worth it more when you come home as a winner? Like when you win the event, is it worth it more?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I've been having a lot more sex since I won. I'm not gonna lie. I had sex right before this live.
You did. You text me. I said, "Maps, you ready to go?" It was like a 10, 15-minute break of nothing. I was like, "Oh shit, he's gonna leave me high and dry." He's like, "I just finished having sex in the shower."
That's facts. Win sex.
I can show you the text. I can't.
You guys don't believe me? You could probably go back and check Sean Ramey's like regular Instagram, not his business page, and probably before, like, you could probably follow the timeline. Before he was winning, he didn't have no kids, and then he started winning a lot, and now he got a kid. So kids come with sex.
Wins equal kids.
Exactly, wins equal sex. So if that's not motivation for guys to go out there and win, I don't know what is.
Get to the track.
Track and win. Winners have more sex. Chapolin.
All right. I gotta we gotta stop. Okay. All right, so how do the kids react when you go away? I think you said something to me this weekend about an RV for the family to come.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say this. So this is very important, and this is not no kiss ass shit. Me and you had our differences, and I've said shit about media guys, and whatever. But this is not anybody's ass. Look, see, Cedric stays sexing. That's because Cedric is winning all the time. This is like the God honest truth. My wife and my kids watch the Soft Spot live. You know what I'm saying? Like, they tune in. Like, I'm not even off the fucking track yet. And she's texting me, "Oh, that's so awesome, 8:30." And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I don't even know my time yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Norris ain't telling me, she's telling me. So the Soft Spot live shit is a really good deal. But the kids,
Thank you.
The kids are good. When I'm not around, it's hit or miss. I have 2 Sour Patch Kids. They're either fucking sour or they're sweet. So sometimes they're sweet, everything is good, or sometimes I gotta call home and I gotta talk to them and yell at them and say, "Hey, I'm coming home and I'm handing out pow pows." But, I mean, they're pretty good for the most part. They love me a lot more when I come home because I always come home bearing gifts. So, I always come home with something. So, they like it.
Yeah. Do they know if you don't win? Does Mega know? Is he like, what happened, Dad?
Not really. Mega always asks me if I'm the fastest, so I'm never the fastest. So you don't care about anything else. Is you the fastest?
Would you let Mega drive? Would you let him do what you do?
Yeah, hell yeah. Mega's a pretty. He's pretty much into speed, like really hard. I got a bike and he goes on the bike with me. I got a sports bike and he's on the sports bike all the time. Like, put his helmet on and we're out. He wants to ride the bike all day.
Seeing Bello and Jason or Pepsi or whatever and his son is like I think it's so cool. I don't think many people realize it, but I think it's our first and only second generation racer in the Honda community. Like, it's not like Steph Papadakis' son races or something, or something. There's not many other people whose kids race. Frankie from Unique Drag Photos, his son Yarrow races an Index now, but for Jason to have a record and to think that his father had that record once, that's the first time that we've seen the second generation hold the same record. To me, that's the coolest thing going on in our sport, and it has been for a long time. So I don't know. You see it firsthand. You see it differently.
Yeah. So Pepsi, when Jason was a kid, Jason was probably man, this is a long time ago. This is like 2011, or this is maybe 2010. Yeah, 2010. So this is like 8 years ago. Jason was, he was a kid. He was like 10 years old, I guess, something like that, 9 years old. And we went to the end of the track at Fall Nationals to go grab something, and I let him drive the golf cart. And fucking, he almost killed us on the golf cart. I'm like, don't turn it so hard and so fast. You're gonna flip the golf cart. So
Yeah,
we go back,
Frankie
and
K.
the first thing I do is I tell Pepsi, like, he almost flipped the golf cart over and killed us. And Pepsi grabbed me by my shirt. And he was like, don't you ever do that with my child again. That is my kid, okay? And I was shocked. I was like, okay, like, my bad. Like, I didn't realize how important it was, right? Like,
Yeah.
what's the big deal? But now I have kids, and I understand that feeling, right? Like,
Don't steal my moment.
don't put someone's, kid in some type of situation where, they could get hurt, and don't do that.
Yeah.
So the love that he has for Jason is pretty amazing. And, I've known Jason since he was a, 10-year-old, 9-year-old. And, he's 18 now and racing. And when it was time for him to get in a car, Pepsi was just like, look, let's take him racing. Like, let's put him in an all-motor car. And I'm like, that's a great idea. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So, we got Casper, and it was still Mark P's car last year. And took the car. Pepsi put a motor together, put his own motor in it, put the car together, and we took him out. And it was a practice engine at first. And first race was like an IFO, Gainesville. And it didn't go super good, but he won. He won and Pepsi was like all nervous and like, yo, what if, like he's gonna get it. I'm like, yeah, he's gonna get it. Like, and and then we had one track rental at ACO a few months later, and it fucking clicked. Like, it clicked. He made like 10 passes, 11 passes in a row. It was a small rental, and he did the same thing all 11 passes. Like, he got it down. He nailed it. He got his rhythm. He nailed it down, and from there, he's just been fucking.
I remember he was pushing the light a lot at first when he first came out.
He went red, and I mean, like, so a lot of people don't understand. Yeah, a lot of people don't understand what the big deal about cutting a light and how a light works. Shallow, deep, how much bite is on the track when the tire turns when you the clutch, how fast it's gonna come off the line. A lot of people don't understand that.
The line is not just this thick, It's not even just this thick, it's whatever, a couple inches, 3 inches or something.
Yeah. So once he got an understanding and we went over that part, like we went over the driver part and all the staging and all of that stuff and all the tricks and techniques, but like the light part, we didn't really go over a lot, So that we went over that like midway through the season. It was like maybe July or something. And then he got that down, and it was just like, he got it down, dude. He just started fucking nailing it, doing it, and then he'd have an issue, and I was on the other side of the parking lot with Preontune, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's right.
He would do something. I see him in the staging lanes when the cars are at stage, and and the staging lanes getting ready to go up, and I'm like, what's going on, man? Like, what's up? Like, I'm seeing lights, what's up? And he's like, nah, I just feel like the car's not moving. It's not doing this. It's not doing that. I'm like, well, put it in a little farther because the track is not all that sticky right now. Put it in a little farther. And he's like, okay. And he listens, and he fucking nails it every time. Like,
he's young. His only influence is you, so he's doing all right.
He's good, man. He's good. He's you could lead anybody to the water. You can't force him to drink it. You know what I'm saying? And he drained the whole fucking lake out.
To me, it's the most impressive thing that's happened in all motor, in a long time, just because of how young he is.
Yeah.
Driver's license within a year, doing it. A lot of people are commenting Frankie K unit. Yes, his son, father-son combo as well. Frankie's got to get that car back out, get his son in there, start competing against Jason. We have 2 second-generation racers competing. You guys are close. You're running a lot of index classes, but I'd love to see you guys step up to all motor.
Yeah, Frankie's car will be in all motor soon.
I know he's almost there. He's very close. Yeah. I think once it's cold weather, I think he's gonna come knocking on it. So yeah, there's been a lot of good racing. It's got to be weird for you because you're helping Jason, who's so young, and then you go and you work with people like Lon, who's now been racing 15 something years, right?
Yeah.
So you probably learned stuff off her, or during the time that you were with them, just like.
Yeah, I mean, I pick up a lot of stuff being, on the team and around people. I learn a lot, man, from Norris. Norris teaches me a lot about racing, about strategy. The biggest thing is with Norris that I learned is it's a lot about strategy, right? Like, you wouldn't think how big of a deal is like qualifying is, right? Like
Where you place on the ladder.
he's a smart guy. Like you don't always have to be number one. Like, he's a smart dude, man. He's really good. He's a smart guy. I learned a lot from him about racing. And of course, Reynolds is always teaching me something every time he's in the other lane, cracking my head open. So, I learned a lot for sure.
I find it impressive to see. I've seen a lot of people come through the Norris camp, and I don't know. I've watched you work because I'm filming you in the pits between last year and this year. Obviously, you thrashed last year. I have a whole video on that this year. You don't have to do as much work, but you definitely go down the car there's like a mental checklist. If you can almost see it like as you're doing it, one at a time. No matter what, even if the car came off the track running, you still do those checks. I was like,
the cars need to be maintained. It's just simple things that you look over and you miss it, and they go down the track, and the next thing you know it breaks. And then there's some things that you can't see, like we the crank sensor messed up in one of the rounds, and we didn't know what it was, and then we had to buy the next round, figured out what it was in the buy, so it's just things that you can't.
It makes it tough to do I notice like fans want to talk to you guys, and said we got work to do, we got stuff going on here. We're here to entertain you, but not sometimes one-on-one. I know that there's a lot of people that think that it should be like open, free reign. You can walk into the pits, but that's like walking into someone's mechanic shop and, watching them work on your car or something.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, a lot of people are like, first of all, we all regular dudes, right? We're all regular people.
Yeah.
Tim Gray, I see him in here. He's always at the track with his wife and his kid and the trailer cooking, and they got everything nice over there. And Jose Bello is always there, right? He's got his family and everybody's. There's a bunch of regular people, right? But these people are regular people. These are not fucking car salesmen trying to sell you something. So you can't just walk up to these people and feel like you're entitled to their time, and they're supposed to drop everything and talk to you like, you're a fucking customer walking in and they're trying to sell you a mattress. It don't work that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, everyone is at the track trying their hardest to get their car ready to make it to the next round or go the next round. And a lot of these guys got shit on their mind about what's going on with the car, or, so a lot of people are, their attitude, might not be the friendliest when you run into them. You never know what they're going through, right?
Yeah, a blown transmission or something, and you want to walk over and ask them how they're doing. Might not be the best time.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't do it. As media, I've learned, like, I look in your pit and I see some shit going down. It's either back up and film it or just move on, because sometimes there's attitudes going on, not just there's broken spirits. That's really what it is. And you don't want to go talk and meet someone for the first time. I've had people say to me, "Oh, I met this guy, he was a jerk." I was like, "Well, when did you meet him?" "During this event." And I'm like, was he busy? Because you didn't just meet him at the restaurant before the event.
Yep. I'm gonna tell you, man, that the most stressful time in a lot of these people's lives are at the fucking track.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be this is supposed to be a hobby for, some people, and it's supposed to be a happy place and where you go and have fun. But bro, if you go to the track, oh look, see Cedric, come to my pit is fucking lit. Okay. So if you go to Cedric's pit and Cedric just lost a motor or something like that, he ain't gonna be in the greatest mood.
You know what? Next
I've been
event,
around,
everybody go to Fast Guy's pit if some shit goes down.
I've been around Cedric when he's happy, and I've been around Cedric when he ain't the happiest, but he's still a decent guy, right? Yeah. But you could tell that he's not happy, right? So you don't want to go fucking over there and for the first time you meet somebody and they just lost $8,000. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes track is not the best time or place for you to
Fast Fest did the driver introductions, you know, and you got to meet whatever the racers as they came down. And to me, that's what we needed to you know, create a connection a little more. But people looking for one-on-one conversations at the track with a racer is going to be difficult. Even the team, if you're having a conversation with a teammate, they should be working. If there's work to be done, don't, you know, I don't know. That's why it's hard for me to even get an interview with certain racers at the track, because you guys are there to work. When the racing's done, if you lose, you're going home. The only interview that's kind of possible to get is the winner at the end. How does it feel to win? Great. What are you gonna? You know?
Yeah.
So people are looking for something sometimes that isn't there. I think more than anything, fans and spectators need to observe more and like just be like, wow, that person's working their ass off to get ready to go back out there for 1,320 feet of fun. And that's
People are taking. I just see people taking my what I said super literal in the comments. It's not $8,000 for a sport front wheel drive engine. I was speaking hypothetically. No, Cedric, you're not a decent guy. You're just above average. All right, decent is below average. You're a really good guy. Okay, Jesus Christ, how much you like deadlifting like 1,000 pounds now? You're way over average. Okay, calm down. Jesus Christ.
He's in here looking for something.
Jesus Christ.
Now he's gonna leave. Now that you acknowledged him, he's gonna leave.
Yeah, he's all cap locks. You can't miss him.
Oh man, we got 10 minutes. Oh, we got about 12 minutes left. I want to take some questions from people. I guess. I mean, I have like a list of questions. I have more I wanted to ask you. I mean,
go for it. Rattle them off.
This one, I want to go with the best one that I feel like is on here. How does it feel to you when you like to inspire? Like, you have to know. I know you're going to tell me you ain't shit, but that's not the answer. How does it feel to inspire someone who's like, I've been watching you since I was 10 or 14, and now they're like 21. They got a car. They're out there. They're messaging you, and they truly look up to you. And you ain't shit. But how does it, like, you know? Is it it's got to feel good, right?
I mean, so I get that a lot, right? I get people, you know, that ask me all the time what's going on and, you know, how's everything going, and, you know, personal shit, right? They'll DM me, and the first thing they start with is that I've been following you since I was 15 and now I'm 21, and like, that's great. But my whole thing to them is always like, if you've been following me that long, hopefully you've seen the progress in the real life of Rob Maps, right? Yeah. Because I try to share. I hate talking in third person. I try to share my life, right? Like, on Instagram, my kids, my son, like, you know, I try to share all of that so you can see like my life, you know what I'm saying? Because the racing stuff is cool.
It's only a part of it.
Exactly. So if I try to tell them, if they've been following me that long, like, are you following what's going on and what's really important to me in life? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, okay then. So then you know. And then, you know, people ask for car advice all the time. I try to tell them. People ask me about, you know, like regular life, like, you know, how do you live and pay bills, and is there money working on cars? And I'm like, don't work on cars. This is the worst thing ever.
I did it too, but
like relationship advice. And I'm like, I can't give you advice, dude. Like, my relationship may look great right now, but we've been through so much, you know, like, that's, you know, I get crazy DMs, dude, about crazy personal shit about people going on at home. Wow. And I'm like, dude, I've went through that. Just if you love them, you'll stick through it and figure it out. But I think
because you post more of that personal stuff, that's definitely why you're getting more of that type of people reaching out to you for just life advice versus more than just cars. Or, you know, people ask me what camera I use, how do I get into this, can they get a media pass and all that, but I don't share as much personal like you. So that's cool though, that people even feel like they're welcome enough to even ask you that. So
yeah, I mean, like I said, I try to share as much as I can. I usually treat social media like as a diary. It'd be really good to look back at, you know, show my kids pretty much how they grew up. You can go back.
It's not for likes. For me, it's never been about that.
No, it's just a diary for me. And, you know, where I come from and how I was raised, I didn't have anything that I have now. Mommy, daddy, brothers, fucking even, you know, a bedroom to sleep in that was really nice. So, like, you know, I'm just living my dream, you know, just sharing all the regular.
I'm not going to write down a book, but I'll post pictures to the thing called Facebook. And it's, for me, you know, it's cool. I like it when a 5-year-old or 10-year-old memory pops up. So, yeah, it reminds you how far you've come sometimes. So
Yep.
All right, let's grab questions because we have exactly 10 minutes left. Let's get questions from the people. I haven't even been reading much of the comments.
It says Rob into mature.
What does it say?
Cedric, Rob is into mature porn. Yeah.
I touched my phone and all of a sudden it's...
Just press like the home button and exit and come back real quick.
Huh? Uh-oh.
Good?
It froze.
Frozen?
No, I can still hear you, but your face is...
Did you press the home button and like exit out and come back onto like IG?
Yeah, let me do it again. What's going on here? I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened for the last time. Rob,
Do you see me?
there. It's like reconnecting to you, but I can see your image.
I'm frozen?
Yeah, you're frozen.
Maybe it's my phone. Get off of it. You're on the Wi-Fi, probably messing it up. Let's see.
It's been working great the whole time. I don't know what just happened. There we go.
How about now? Good?
You're perfect. Perfect, yeah.
Okay.
We lost 1 minute. That's all good.
Okay. All right.
I see both. Is everyone else good in here?
I think we're good. We're good?
Restart it. Rob says restart it.
I think we're good. We should be good.
I'm not even going to touch anything. I think when I went to go read the comments, because I can only see one comment at a time on the bottom, but we're good. Bala says we're good. So if anyone has any other questions, any question, Rob Knapp said he will answer any question you want. So shoot up a question. He'll read it or I'll read it. Any personal type question even. Get it out. We got 10 minutes or 8 minutes.
I think me exiting out, I can't see all the new comments coming in. The last comment that I could see that's here is Sheppy Race. It says, Maps, what's the hardest thing you deal with when going from car to car?
I don't even see that.
Okay, so I'll just answer that real quick.
Someone asked about your relationship with Aki. There's now 2 questions about your relationship with Aki.
Yeah, let me answer the Sheppy question first because that's pretty simple and quick. The hardest thing is the shifter and how to drive the car. Sheppy knows this. I just raced a car that he tunes in California, Greg Sinister's Integra. I was lucky enough to win that race too. The hardest thing for me driving that car was third gear. I kept pushing the shifter over like if I was in a K-Series car. It had a G-force shifter in it, and it literally would come out of second gear, and you would just have to push it straight up, and like the spring was so tight, it would go straight up. And I kept pushing it further over, and I missed third gear like 2 or 3 times. And, you know, Greg was just like, bro, stop pushing it over. I'm telling you, it's you. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I push it straight up, and it would feel like it's going back in first gear, but it was third. And it was good after that. So, yeah, the hardest thing is just adjusting to the car. Like, from B series to K series, just the driving style in general is
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one do you like better, the K?
K series, yeah.
K-series.
Or K series or a stock shift linkage B series. I hate that G4 shifter shit.
Yeah.
And then the next question was the Aki thing.
Well, it's just a lot of people asking it. I'm not really asking
Yeah.
it. I don't even know if we want to get on that topic, but if you want to,
I can address it really quick. We were friends for a really long time. Then we were not friends for a really long time. Then we became friends again recently when he came back, and I tried to help him and support him. And you know, he a lot of people that I liked didn't like him when he came back, and then he addressed those same people. And you know, I took up for him when they were talking about him, and then when he started talking about them, he didn't like when I took up for them. So it was kind of like, you know, without disrespecting anybody, it was kind of being like a father with 2 children and sticking up for one when one was right, but not being able to stick up for the other one when the other one was right. And that's what kind of he wanted me to do. And
you've stood up for everyone that's been in your corner, I feel like.
I can't pick and choose sides. So,
Yeah.
so after that little incident, you know, that's it. We don't have a relationship no more. You know, we wish each other the best of luck, and
Yeah. Of course.
Congratulations. Continue with your thing.
I don't think anyone gets enjoyment out of holding ill will against somebody. You know, eventually you just put people in the rear view and you got to move on if that's the way it is. So
I've been doing this for a very long time, and
yeah,
I'm good where I'm at. You know, so
yeah.
I'm fine.
So people, comments, any more of them? That's it. Leave them alone. Don't scare Rob Maps off Instagram anymore.
I can't see no comments, so.
Oh well, they're not. They're really not that bad. Mark here, I believe, asked, "What is your favorite racing memory? Like, is there one thing that in your huge career that stands out more than the others?"
Yeah, when I won Honda Day at All Motor, 2013, it was Tina Kron, Chris Harris, it was Pepsi, Jose Bello. It was my I call him my father. He raised me, Ralph King Prick. Everybody knows him as.
Yep.
He passed away. He was there, and I cried like a little baby when he came up to me. He goes, "Yo, you making me so proud, bro." Because he always beat into my head when I was, you know, when we raced, he was always there with me. He took me everywhere. When I had my own sport front wheel drive car, he towed me back and forth to Maryland races for NSCRA races with his minivan, dude, and a dolly. It was just me and him.
Like this.
And he beat into my head. If you do not leave the line first, you will walk home. And he always told me, you got to leave first. You got to leave first. And to win a race in a final, leave on the light first, do everything perfect. And he just came to me and was like, I'm so proud of you. And he hugged me. And I was like, I never had a real father in my life that raised me and shit. So he was like my father. I met him when I was like 14. And he taught me how to race and everything else. But when he told me that, it was such a, like, I never felt that before. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody was proud of me. And I just like cried. I'll never forget that shit. That was the greatest racing memory of all time.
Now that's why you probably want your kids to have that feeling for you.
Yeah.
That's deep, man. Thank you for sharing that with us. Thank you for sharing everything with us. We got like 3 minutes left, but yeah, winning Honda Day. I remember they dumped the water on you too. You were skinny as shit then too.
Yes, no, I was 132 pounds.
132.
132. Yeah, 132. Crazy. Long time ago.
Fast guy don't meet girls any later than that.
So watch out. Fast guy feeds his girl and his friends very good. He's a 5-star restaurant kind of guy.
He's taking us out to eat after IREV. Will you be at IREV this week or no?
I won't. I have a lot of ass kissing to do to make up for last weekend. Yeah. So 2 weekends in a row is not gonna happen.
Yeah. No, we'll see you at Pan Am's. I know that.
Pan Am's, I'll be there for sure.
Pan Am's next event for Robert Maps. Wow, this was pretty dope. We got to keep this going. What do you think?
My wife is next to me. She's telling me about Kim K comments. Somebody keeps commenting Kim K.
Kim K.
So Kim K is my street car. It's my coupe. Jose Bello race engines, built the engine. I had the car a long time ago. It's not that exact car though, because that car was sold to somebody and they chopped it up and turned it into a race car. So I bought another one. Good guy, Bobby from New Jersey, sold me the chassis. Car looks just like the one I had, so I was like, perfect. Started building it, Jose Bello race engine, 8899 K24 sleeved, pistons, Cali's rods, 625 bolts, beautiful thing. Cylinder head, Prano tune cam, center feed.
You keeping this one?
I'm trying to. That's why I've had it so long for now, and it's taking so long to put together. So,
will you sell the bike once you get this going? I
was gonna probably sell the bike right away now, because my wife is like bitching a lot about the minivan and she wants something new. So I was gonna try to buy her a new car soon. So I'm probably gonna sell the bike because
well worth it.
That's like $8,000 in cash that I could just put into a car for her. So the car will be done one day. I don't have a date because I have so much shit popping up in life. But the plan is for the car to be a fucking street car, not a race car. Like. It's a street car with everything in it, regular car. Hopefully I can make it a 9-second car, like daily turnkey 9-second car.
You're going to drive it to the track because you live so damn close.
Yep. I live really close. I'll be at OSW.
This might cut off. I don't know. It might cut off.
Anything else?
We got a minute. There's been a consistent, steady 700 something plus people. At one point it was 800-900. That's pretty cool. So, man.
Any other questions before we get cut off?
Let me see what up happening with Batman. What ended up happening with Batman?
Batman Bari is a racer from Connecticut. We never actually got to race each other because he was one of those guys, like I said earlier, that you don't even have a car, and I was already past that stage where I had sold my car, and I was no time with their dreams and street racing and all that shit. So we never got to race, and whatever.
Angel wants to race you.
Angel who?
Desgo, Angel Cruz.
I don't want no parts of it. God forbid I injure him and break his hip racing him. He's so old. Norris will never forgive me if he can't come to work and build engines because he has a broken hip and I caused that. So no, I won't.
We have actually 2 minutes left. It just gave me the warning. A minute. Okay. Someone wants to know about halal talk. No, he has no cart in the background.
No, I was just a beautiful wife, half naked. She's waiting. I'm gonna have more sex after that. Winning, if you win.
So Mega can't watch this feed.
No, Mega's sleeping. He's in his room, has a basketball court hanging up out there.
Oh boy, what was your favorite car to drive?
My favorite car to drive ever of all time was that's a tough question.
I think you enjoy driving Goldie a lot. I feel like I see a lot of enjoyment out of being in that sport.
I'm gonna say for sure, Goldie is probably one of the most perfect, all around cars because the car is so great. But my own personal red Civic, I had the car so long and it went from street car to race car. I love that car. I love that car.
They want to know your best ET. What's your personal best ever in all motor and in?
All motor personal best is I don't think I've ever been faster than like 980 in all motor. And his drive is 8300. So not a 20, but a 30 flat.
Yeah.
At 186 miles an hour is my fastest mile an hour.
186. What car was that?
Goldie.
Goldie? Okay. I was thinking it was Goldie.
Goldie holds everything, all the hearts.
Yeah. Will you be driving the tile? We got 20 seconds left, guys. I don't know if we're going to get to any more questions. They want to know the tile car.
We'll get back on. You want to do another? We could do a little bit more time after this if you want to get back on. But
all right.
Yeah. So yeah.
We'll make it quick.
Okay. What do you got?
All right. This is going to end. We'll be back, guys. Come right back on.
See you guys later.
Damn, this got good. We need more than an hour. Let's get Maps back in here. Let's get all of you back in here, man. That was good. 700 strong. What up, Norris? What's up, John? What up, Munch? I see all you guys. VTech. Len. I'll wait for Maps to get in here. Wow, this thing got up quick, over 250 already. Bart, what do you guys think so far? You think it's going good? Should we try to do this again every week? Might be a little late, though. We might have to start at 9:30. Top live again. Cool. Come on. Everyone's back in here. Everyone's up so late. You're all going to be mad at me tomorrow for doing this so late at night. Maps is probably grabbing himself a drink or something real quick. I started this right away. I did share it to the page, so if you missed any part of the first one, you can go back and rewatch the whole thing. It is, it's on the page, so you can go back. Tomorrow, I guess, when this is all done, I will add it to the new Instagram TV, which is a new platform on Instagram where you can save videos. So, yeah, we're waiting on Maps. I got to be up at 3:30. Sorry, Len. Damn. Well, if you guys got to go to bed, I completely understand. We can we're gonna have it saved, so you can always come back and watch it. You can watch it again tomorrow if you feel like you missed anything. Some people sending requests, they want to be live with me. We're waiting on Maps, guys. He's probably grabbing a drink. Lon Norris in here. Louie, what's up? DB Expert, what's up? Angel's still in here. The whole Preunto team in here. Where's Rob? Someone's got to open the shop tomorrow. Dave Fry, you in here? Maps will be right back. I started it quick. I should have given him like a couple minutes to get a drink or something. I don't know. I wanted to stay on these topics. I know you guys had a couple more questions. I had a whole list of questions that I wrote up that came in from people commenting on the post that I had yesterday. A lot of people decided to DM questions. I don't know, maybe they didn't want to be known as the guy asking the question. That's why I didn't announce anyone's names. Maps, it's past your bedtime, but we appreciate it, bro. And we had a couple issues getting this all set up. Now that I know the Wi-Fi, I don't know what was even wrong with it. What's up?
You good?
Everyone thought you ditched me for booty, bro. Wouldn't blink. Can you see me?
Is the volume low on your phone too? Yeah, I see you, but the volume is low.
The volume is low. Yes. Why is Siri talking? It's low, the volume?
Yeah, I can't hear you. Like, I heard you before, but then once you got me in, you got like really low. So it's probably just a bad connection.
What do you guys think? You can't hear me?
Oh, wait, it's not on speaker. Hold on. How the fuck do I take it off a speaker? Hold on. You're on my headset.
Oh.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Well, I hear you, but talk.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's weird, dude. It went to like, it's not working out of my speaker. It's like on the head part.
I think it's still connecting.
All right, hold on. Let me exit out real quick. Hold on.
Yeah, if you want to leave,
Can you hear me?
sometimes it just takes. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I got you now. Okay. Questions.
All right, we left off. They wanted to know more about the RSX, I guess, the tile car.
Yep.
Did it freeze again? What's going on here?
Yeah, you got like a loading thing, but you're moving fine. But I'm froze?
You're
Hold on.
you're froze, but I can hear you fine. There you go. Now it looks good.
Damn, but now I lost the speaker again. Hold on, I'm going to go out and come back.
Is it better?
Now?
I can hear you.
Damn, I lost the speaker. Once the last time I exit, I lost you on the speaker.
Let me exit.
Let me try it one more time, and then I'll just barely hear you. Hold on.
Pardon our interruption.
Good?
How are we looking? Is it good?
That's it. Third time's a charm.
Nice. We even got top live again. 500 people almost in here still. I can't believe this. Everyone's gonna be mad at us for keeping them up late.
All right, so Tau RSX. So I believe, I want to say that the Tau car will be back, but it probably is not going to be the RSX chassis anymore. It was an extremely hard project, the RSX, being that, the suspension and everything is totally different design. It was just a lot of work, and it was a lot. It's a lot to go through when you have such a big team like Norris has, where, you got 6, cars to maintain and have at the track, and then you have this car that's pretty much needs all your attention all the time.
Yeah.
So I think, the Tile car will be back, just not in the RSX. It'll be a different chassis.
You don't spill all the beans, or Norris hasn't given you permission yet.
No, it'd be something different, but it's not the RSX.
Yeah.
But the car's still in the shop.
Some people are asking questions about Lon and the team and the all motor car. I think that's more a question for Lon herself and the team than for Rob to answer.
I could answer that the DSS car will be back. So the DSS car will be back.
Yeah. Trying to read these questions. Let me see. Keep asking your questions. If I didn't answer your question, just say it again. There's literally comments flying in.
You're the only one that can see it, because I lost the comments and all that, so I can't see any of that. So I could just see you and hear you, so I'm good with that. So you're the narrator.
What do you think about strain gauges?
Strain gauges are really good. A lot of older racers find it a lot harder to drive the strain stuff that have been racing for a long time without it. So it's kind of hard for people to adjust. My best friend, Hollywood Noel, hasn't even tried to drive a strain yet. He'll probably be on a strain very soon, but I could tell from all the years of his driving style, it'll be hard for him, because he has a habit of pulling on the shifter all the time, way before the car is ready to shift, because of his setup and the way he starts to set up for the shift. So the strain gauge stuff sometimes is hard for people to pick up, but the strain gauge is probably the greatest thing of all time. It's pretty much like a motorcycle with a quick shifter. It just is a quick ignition cut. boom, and it
Yeah.
shifts. It's a great thing. So
Yeah.
obviously everyone wants to go faster. So yeah, those help everyone go
I
faster.
was very lucky to have a couple people actually within our industry explain to me how they work. And if anyone has questions about how they work, Google it because it's complicated. There's a lot to it. Oh no, he froze again. What happened? I don't know what's going on here. I haven't moved my phone since the last live, so can you guys see Rob still? Let me get a comment or something. You guys can see maps. I don't know why his phone died. Oh, let me get him back in here real quick. I bet you he doesn't have bootleg Wi-Fi. We already did an hour's worth of live feed. This is all bonus time, if anything. My beard is blocking his head. I'm trying to make it look like he's got hair. He's gone. And I got it. Once he comments, oh, his phone died. Yeah, that will do it. That would cause that. So we're going to give him a couple seconds to plug in, a couple minutes or whatever it takes to plug in, unless Mrs. Maps comes in here and says he's done. He might be done. This was good, though, I think, an hour's worth of talking about where the racer came from, how he got to where he's at. He just won the event. I'm always going to reward or give the opportunity to the winner of, there he is, he's back, to the latest event. So like whoever wins IREV this week, I would love to have you on. I'm going to start with the X front-wheel drive class and then work our way down. Now it's clear. You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Nah, now it's good. Yeah, we got a lot of people still in here. I don't know where it froze. Tom Crean, are you still up, Tom Crean, or is that a fake Tom? There's a lot of trolling going on.
Yeah, that is troll. Yeah, I seen some troll stuff. Turn on.
Yeah, if you just ignore it, it doesn't really happen. I'm trying to figure out who's real.
Yeah, you got to be careful. The names look the same.
Yeah, exactly. The names look the same. You go to read a comment, you're like, that's not a real person.
Yeah,
So people want to know about all-wheel drive car. Your thought on all-wheel drive cars? Obviously, you have you driven an all-wheel drive car yet or no?
Not a Honda.
Not a Honda.
Not a Honda. But yeah, I've driven all-wheel drive stuff, just never Honda stuff. They're great. They're great. I mean, I think that's the future of our racing. I think all-wheel drive stuff is actually taking over.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Would you see yourself making the switch from front-wheel drive to all-wheel drive if given the chance?
So my biggest thing with racing and with Norris and racing with Tune is I always tell them I just want to race in a class with competition, right? So like if there's a class for it and then there's a car for it, then yeah, like I just want to race with other racers. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not trying to be racing in a class where it's 1 or 2 people, 3 people. Like if there's 16 cars, if there's 32 cars, like if there's a field where there's a class, yeah, I want to race it. So yeah, if there's a class and there's cars to race, especially with good drivers in the class, hell yeah, that's where I want to be. So yeah, I would drive anything.
I think it might take another full season of all-wheel drive for it to turn into 16 car fields. Yeah. But I think next year we could have a class, and it would probably have about 8 to 12 cars, depending on how fast they all are. We'll see who can keep them together. What's really cool is there's a lot of different combinations of what people are trying because no one's really spilled the beans completely yet. Of what works, and I don't think anyone really knows what works. So who knows the potential? Yes. I think that these cars could be going 7.2s. I mean, if
Yeah, I think the biggest deal is the fastest car is Steve's car, and Steve's car is pretty much a sport front-wheel drive car, with assisted rear wheels and a 76. So
that thing's impressive, man, and I am very impressed with that car. What it's done.
Once you get those cars with mechanical fuel pumps on them with methanol, that's going to change a lot. So
the K series enjoys the bigger turbo, I'd say, versus Reynolds says flip my poster. I can't flip the poster. The camera's like a mirror. It's backwards.
It's mirror image.
I thought about writing this live with Mr. Maps backwards, but I was like, that's just going to take way too long. Because once I set everything up, I was like, yeah, it's all backwards. But
this is a good question. Somebody just came in here and said, since you drove Sinisters, Integra, Chevy Tune, Primo Tune Sport Front-Wheel Drive, and CMB, What's the biggest difference, and which one do you like the most setup wise? That's a great question.
Yeah.
So if you don't know too much about me, um, just you could log on to Instagram and find the troll pages. I don't even know the names of them, but the
They
Grip
keep
Stall,
changing the name.
yeah, Huffy Talk, whatever it's called now. They made a post where it's like, I'm a dick rider or a cheerleader. That shit's extremely accurate. If you look at it from the outside, it's accurate. So I've been involved with a lot of people, and I'm friends with a lot of people, and I've driven a lot of cars and helped a lot of people out. Right? Yes, I'm a thought driver, exactly. So it's a great question because I've driven a lot of people's shit, a lot of the faster shit. That you could definitely notice the difference between tuners and cars. They definitely don't all feel the same. You could feel that CMB's cars have they feel like they got way more power in them. First, second, and third gear, they're like fucking Jesus Christ. And Chevy stuff is like it's more gradual power all the way. You know, it's like first, yeah, like first and second is like okay, and then third gear and fourth gear is like oh shit okay. And then Norris's cars are the same thing. Like they're very similar to like the CMB stuff where they're controlled in the front and they feel pretty fast, but they're fucking like Goldie is wicked fast in third and fourth gear. Like, you know, that's obviously the fastest highest mile an hour car, so that's gonna obviously be, you know, why it feels the fastest. But dude, in fourth gear in that car, I'm like this looking for the finish line.
Really?
It starts getting so fast, dude. It's like, yo, this shit's starting to really roll. Like, that car has a lot of back half. But to answer the question in simplest terms, yes, you can feel the difference. There's a big difference. Whose setup I like the most? CMB's cars and the way he sets them up and the way Columbia tunes is phenomenal. Like, his setup and the way he tunes them is like, you can feel how fast the car is. Like, dude, like when I drove, I still tell everybody, and Pepsi argues with me all the time. He's like, look at the slip, the slip. The red car that I drove, that Columbia Tunes Anti-Feca, that car has been the fastest eighth mile car that I've ever felt. I've been faster in the eighth mile, I believe, in Goldie. No, I'm lying. I think I went faster. I went a 62, I think, 562 at like 143 in Anti-Feca and like a 568 or 565 and Goldie at 143. But the B series and the way that it felt in that red car, it just felt fucking, yeah, see, Pepsi's here, liar. It felt crazy, dude. Like, it felt insane.
Liar.
Like, to the eighth mile, that shit was like, holy shit. And then fourth gear, like, you literally, like, when you're strapped in, you got like a little bit of like air gap, like where you could breathe, and you could feel in fourth gear in that car, like you could breathe again. And with Goldie, it's the opposite. Like, it's tight, 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 but then it's really fucking tight in fourth gear. Like, holy shit. You can feel the power difference between
pushing you back in the seat so far, you're saying?
You can feel the difference. Like, you know, like horsepower, you feel the difference, but you know, you could definitely feel the tuning difference for sure too.
I think frustrates talking some smack in here. I think.
Frustrate. Listen.
Where the?
I just want to address this right now. Frustrate is the greatest racer of all time and would ever beat him, ever. He's the greatest.
It's freezing. I know what you're saying. Frustrates the greatest driver ever. I don't know why the Wi-Fi is so spotty the second time. What's going on here? Can you guys hear both of us?
Frustrate came in here and gave you like an
stealing all the
STD.
Wi-Fi.
You're like, there you go. You're drinking something now. I see you.
Yeah, now it's good.
Okay.
Frustrate's calling everyone bitches.
Yeah, Frustrate or Chapelin this weekend. Chapelin's gonna beat him. Chapelin is gonna beat him on a whole shot too.
On a whole shot.
On a whole shot.
Chapelin can drive. He can drive in that car.
Frustrate's got a 76 millimeter all-wheel drive car. There's no reason he can go fucking 8.0s. Chapelin will go probably like a teen and beat him with a teen.
Chapelin's in.
He's a really good driver. He's in here?
Yeah. He just gave
Yeah,
you the.
trampoline's a really good. Yeah, he always tells me that every time after he beats me, he's at the end of the track. Like, yeah, like he always beats me, dude. Always.
Giving you the hand gesture.
Yeah. I get him off the light every time, but he gets to the finish line first. He always beats me. He's
You're gonna be at the
fast.
track. Are you going to the track tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll be at the track tomorrow for sure.
It's gonna be good. Honda night at Orlando Speed Worlds. If anyone in the Orlando area is down there, definitely go check that out.
Yeah, it's gonna be badass. What other question? What other questions you got?
Someone says it froze. I guess I can hear you fine. And now your screen froze now, but I don't know.
Right. It's frustrating, bro.
It's all Frustrate's fault. Frustrate. We're gonna have to kick you out, dog. First guy to get blocked. Just kidding. I've never blocked anyone. I can hear you fine, but it was frozen. The screen's not moving. Rob, we've gone through most of the questions on this list. There you go. Now it's good.
You see me?
Yeah, I can hear. I see and hear fine. I think it was frozen for everyone else. I don't know why that keeps happening.
Okay.
I've gone through most of the questions on my list at this point. I mean, we already did the hour. We're on an hour and 20 minutes now. Any other questions, AEM or Honda? I have a feeling it's going to go AEM there.
I don't know. What other questions you got? Say it again. I'm sorry, my wife is yelling up.
TAE Sport front wheel drive car. The car had a door. I'm trying to scroll up to read the questions. What fuel should be an all motor?
There should be no fuel rules in all motor. And
None.
this is my opinion. Would you like to hear it?
Yes.
Okay. If you put fuel rules in all motor, right? You accuse one or two people of cheating in all motor, right? That's why they're so much faster, right? And you have fuel rules. You put fuel rules. There's two people that are cheating and they're faster, but they get checked and nothing's found. They're not cheating, but they're faster still. They must be cheating. Take fuel rules away, and they're still faster than you. What's the excuse? Right? I mean, what's the excuse? We'll see at Pan Am's again. We'll see it at Pan Am's.
I think some people will say that it's harmful to the motor. They can't keep up with what that nitro mix does to the. Does it hurt motors more? I think maybe if it's improperly tuned.
It is, yeah. It's harder on the engine, but my whole thing is this, man. If you're at the top, if you're a top runner in all motor, you're a top runner in all motor with fuel or without fuel. At Pan Am's last year, Jason Bello, and Lon was number 1 and number 2, and they were in the finals together. She won, he was runner-up. At Fall Nationals with fuel rules, they were again. She was semifinals, I think, and then he had to race, I think, Adrian in the finals. But it's still the same cars. You know what I'm saying? Whether rules are there or they're not there, these cars still run, dude. They're so the whole fuel rule thing, it shouldn't even be there because it's a handicap. You're just looking to handicap yourself and give yourself something to say and give yourself an excuse to why you're not the fastest. It's because of this. It's because of that. And just take all that away. Run the tire, run the motor size maybe, or whatever you want to run. But like, when you start putting too many rules in it, that's when it starts getting really expensive. For example, we had a race this weekend in Cecil County. It was an all-motor class. Wendell, which is known as the Sauce God, was there with his all-motor car. Adrian, which was runner-up and number 2 on the OGS 1320 all-motor list, and he was runner-up at the shootout at Full Nationals. He runs 950s in OGS 1320. He's been 950s out of OGS.
He did it this weekend.
He was number 1 qualifier at this race with no fuel rules, right? I don't think they had weight rules either. Wendell, I think, was number 2 or number 3 or something like that, right?
Yeah. Adrian was number 1 with 9.5. Then it was 9.6 for Wendell. Rob Ryan was 9.7 qualifier, and so on.
Okay. Wendell won the race. Okay.
Yeah, Wendell.
When you put rules into play in all motor, that's when it gets expensive because you have to figure out how to go fast within those rules, and you have to start making extremely expensive changes for small gains that average people won't do.
Yeah.
When Wendell came in to this race at Cecil County, I'm positive that he had the least amount of money in his car compared to Rob Reinen or compared to Adrian's car, but he came in and won that race because there was no rules.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He
Yeah.
came in and he was all motor, but there was a leveling effect there where he didn't have to have every little trick in the book and all these little things that cost so much more money to run within the rules and run those times. And
Came
he
down to
did
his driving and horsepower.
exactly, and he did what he knew how to do, whether it be with fuel or however he did it. But I'm sure he had less motor than everybody and everything else, and he won the race. That's how all motors should be, because it gives guys that can't afford to spend all that money a chance to come out and win. So no, I think there should be.
Yeah, and in my opinion, the chemists are going to be out there either way, whether we have the rules or, like, if you go to an event with rules, who's to say that they're not mixing up a batch of something with a clouding agent so that you don't know that what's in there. You know, if you're smart enough, you're smart enough. So it's not always just adding nitro mix. You know, there's other things to it that are
So
that
that's my opinion on that.
Yeah. So I think a lot of people would like to see no rules, no fuel rules. Obviously, they're gonna have to have weight rules per stroke of motor, whatever. But Rob says Wendell sabotaged my shift cable. You sabotaged yourself.
Wendell came in the pit and put smaller cotter pins in his shift linkage.
Took out all the. Didn't even come down to the motor. It actually came down to the rest of the shit around it.
Yeah, exactly.
Steve-O, CLM wants to know all-wheel drive rules.
All-wheel drive rules?
No kind of rules. None.
Let's see. All-wheel drive rules. This would be the rules for all-wheel drive class. 24.5-inch tire. 24.5-inch tire. I will put an 80 millimeter turbo cap and 2,400 pound minimum weight, and that's it.
Because everyone's going to be K series anyway.
That's it. 2,400 pound is the minimum weight. You have to run no taller than a 24.5-inch tire, and the turbo can't be bigger than 80, and that's it. That's a badass car. You could run a mechanical pump, you could run methanol, and you could run an 80 millimeter turbo, but you can't be lighter than 2,400 pounds. That's a deep 7-second car.
Yeah.
That's a big gap between sport front wheel drive.
Steve-O's retired.
I can't see anything.
He said, call me James because I'm Harden.
I think Steve is a bad man. Steve is actually he's a great driver.
This Bart says 720s with that. They said, what about J series? Someone wants to know if it's J series.
J series belongs in Honda Odysseys and Honda Pilots for like long family cruises, like across country and shit.
They're not race car motors.
I mean, I don't know. I make a lot of my money on my daily job. I do timing belts, water pumps, spark plugs, all type of shit on those engines, and they're great engines, but I just don't like them for race cars.
I saw people asking earlier actually about parachute, why you do or don't pull the chute. You know, when is a good time to pull the chute? Is there a good time to pull the chute?
Okay, so the biggest thing is front-wheel drive that a lot of people don't understand, and if you go out there and watch the faster cars in the class, Chapeline's car is probably the best car that has got the most weight on the front, and his car is probably the most controlled on the shutdown, and then probably Sean Ramey. I don't know. Sean's car I don't think has as much weight in the front as everybody else's, but all these other cars, these guys put all the weight they could put in the front. I mean, when you corner balance these cars, they got fucking 950, 1,000 pounds over each front wheel. And then the back is like 220, 250 in the back. There's no weight, dude. So what happens when you come through the trap and the car is extremely loaded up like this, because it's I don't give a fuck what you think.
You're flying down the track.
It's like loaded.
Yeah.
It's loaded like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
The tire is all the way up on the front tire. The suspension is all the way compressed in the rear. Some of these guys run super stiff springs in the rear. When you come off the gas pedal at 185 miles an hour, the car does this, whoop, and it unloads. Once it unloads, it's got all that force coming off the rear suspension, the front tire unloading, right? It comes back off the tire, and it's
No
got
longer inflated.
got all that weight in it. The car gets extremely hard to control. When you pull the chute, with it doing that, naturally the chute is supposed to straighten you out. But since these cars are so light, if the car is already unsettled and you pull the chute, you're just going to get more out of control. The chute is not a bad thing once you have your car dialed in and set up. Then you can go ahead and use your chute all the time.
Yeah.
But if you're going out there with a brand new car and you got it set up like it's a front runner sport front wheel drive car, it's got all this weight in the front, you might want to get your suspension set up and everything to be working right and go ahead and pull the chute. Like Goldie is a great car and it's set up perfectly, and you can go ahead and pull the chute on that car. But it stops really well, so you don't have to use the chute.
What do you use brakes wise? What?
I use the front brakes, and then I don't recommend anybody using the staging brake, but like I'll usually put my hand on the staging brake and apply a little pressure. But dude, the rotors on these rear trailing arm kits are like super thin, so you'll literally crack and break a rotor if it gets too much heat on it. So you shouldn't use the rear brakes at all. Yeah, but I do. Don't.
Do you guys have like smaller brakes or anything, or is it OEM brakes?
The front is OEM, and it's got an aftermarket pad on it.
Like a GSR caliper or something up front?
Yeah, you have to run GSR stuff when you get to 5.9s and pro levels. You could only run the GSR stuff. Yeah.
Damn. So you'd rather not pull the chute, is what you're saying?
Yeah. First of all, I'm a driver. All I do is drive cars. So when I get into your car and it's Dan at Soft Spots race car, if you tell me to pull the chute, I pull the chute.
Yeah.
You know, I do whatever you tell me to do. So when I drove Craig's car, I'll pull the chute. When I drive Antifeca, Gene's car, whatever, I pull the chute. When I drive the KLM car, Chapeline's car, I pull the chute. You know, if you tell me to pull the chute, I pull the chute. If you ask me, you do what you want. I drove KKT's car. He said pull the chute. Thank God I pulled the chute. That car does not stop. It does not stop. So yeah, I mean, it's up to the owner of the car. But my personal thing, I won't pull it. You know, if I can stop the car under its own power, I won't pull it.
I know a handful of guys that swear by not pulling it. Those other guys like Mark P will always pull it. You know, no right or wrong. You going to use the line lock? Angel wants to know.
No. So what happens with the line lock is the line lock, Pre-owned Tunes cars are set up with line locks on them. They have a button on the steering wheel, and they have a big gauge. All the cars have gauges in them, and that's brake pressure. You could set the line lock. You pull the rear staging brake, hold the line lock button. You build the pressure that is desired that you're looking for, and you stick it there, let go of the brake, and now your brake is on the line lock button. The problem with that I don't like is it's always that pressure. So before you light the first bulb, the car is under hard braking, and then you can drag it in, you know, depending on how much braking pressure you have. Yeah. And you can't adjust the braking pressure after that. It's always got that same amount of load on it. I like to be able to control the rear brake. I like to move it without a little load on it, then load it up, then maybe let a little load off. Like I always change it. Using the staging brake versus the line lock is probably a lot better and more consistent, but I just haven't used it enough to get used to it, and I'm just comfortable with the staging brake. So, you know, I go out there and I'm trying to do is the best I can every round. I'm just doing what I know. So
that's why Angel's asking, I guess.
Yeah, he knows. He's probably bothering me about it.
Like, why don't you use it?
Yeah, everybody uses it. I mean, I guess my lights could probably be even, they'd be better probably with the line lock. But when I got to race guys like fucking Jonathan Reynolds, I'm not trying to do something new. I'm doing what I know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I'm not testing tuning these cars. I'm doing it at events, where every round counts. So I can't be trying to do shit all the time. So, yeah, but I believe, it is better. I gotta do better, I guess.
Bello says that Jason decides when he pulls the chute.
Yeah, Jason pulls the air chute in all motor. There is no chute in the motor car, and he still pulls that.
So Bart mentions that at E-Town you have to pull this chute. Is there certain tracks where it's like, you better pull that chute or you're going to be in some risky business?
I've never pulled the chute at E-Town in Goldie. I don't even know if I drove Goldie at E-Town, but I haven't pulled the chute in that E-Town because it's been shorter. And, the cars that I've driven there have stopped.
What about OSW?
OSW is really short. OSW is like E-Town. But no, I haven't pulled a shoot in Goldie at OSW ever.
Have you ever gone off the end of the track in any situation?
I've got my feet wet where I just touched the sand with the front tire, but that never in the sand deep. I've never been in there far. I almost lost it in Pepsi's car. Racing Sean actually, I think, went through the fucking trap and I let off the gas and the car just got extremely loose. It swung to one side and it was still in fourth gear, you know, so I just let out on the clutch and feathered the clutch, got it back under control. Once it settled, then I got on the brakes. And by the time I had got the car settled to get on the brakes, it was already fucking way too late. So I jammed it back down in a second. I let the clutch out real slow and feathered it. And then I just turned off real hot. Like I came off the track super hot. The official was waving and jumped out the way.
What are you doing?
I wasn't going in the fucking sand. So, yeah, that's I had a close call.
Someone asked, besides Hondas, what cars would you like to race?
There's a 240, white 240. It's called White Rice. It's from Texas. Chris Delgado tunes it. It's a 2J car. It goes sixes. They offered me a couple times to drive that car, and it's always been like a time conflict. Like, we'll make this race, make that race. So, yeah, I might drive that car. I would love to drive it. I've been, we've been talking. We talk. It goes sixes, dude. It's badass. So,
yeah,
we talk back and forth. I got my first original comp license in like 09, 08. My friend, his name was Muhammad. We used to call him Mustang Mo. He's from Yonkers or whatever. He was from Yonkers. He had a badass Mustang I drove a couple times, which was like super fucking fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, roller drive cars are awesome. I mean, I would drive anything, dude. I'd drive anything.
You drove a Mustang last weekend, Chris Harris's, right?
Yeah, his Mustang. I told him we're gonna get it to hang the wheels. He's like, come on, stock Mustang. We got that shit to hang the wheels. Bro.
I saw the picture. Harris posted it, I believe. So.
Yep. We got that shit to hang the wheels. He started off running 13s and he finished the day in the 11s. So.
What's your favorite car, past or present? I think we went over that, the red Civic, right?
Yeah, my red car.
The red car.
Yeah.
Ricky Silva wants to know, do you know to English?
What?
Do you know to English? I don't know.
Did I know to English?
Do you know to English?
Do I know English? Not much. No. I know sarcasm. I'm great at
that. Ricky's gonna win an event. We're gonna get him on here one weekend, one Thursday.
Ricky's a good guy. He's been racing for a long time.
That's not his. What?
It's not mine. What's the best car I drove? That's not mine.
Yeah.
Goldie. Clutch Masters Civic from Predator Racing. It's the greatest car of all time.
Oh, Ricky was talking to Frustrate.
Oh. They're picking on Frustrate.
They're picking on Frustrate. I'm confused.
Yeah, I can't see none of the comments. I'm sorry.
I swear there's been 20 comments of either thong or bikini or boxers or briefs. I don't know why people care so much.
Okay, so I've worn boxers my almost entire life.
Somebody's asking socks or shoes or one-piece bikinis.
So I've worn boxers my whole life, but then I started wearing like briefs. I guess it's called briefs. They tight. Right?
Yeah.
Briefs. So I started wearing briefs, and now my wife is like, you can't wear anything but that now. So I don't know. I guess it's briefs.
Yeah. I used to wear I did the same thing once I got old enough. I was like, all right, no more boxers.
Yeah.
Baggy.
Yeah. My wife's all about the meat print, so she's like, she's sitting here waiting for the live to end so she can get some.
We're gonna have to wrap it up. We're gonna have the girth or length. That's your teammate asking.
We don't wrap nothing up around here. We got kids.
Boxers in a fire suit's a dangerous zone. Major pain will be a Pan Am. I'm trying to read some of these comments.
Oh, yeah, my old red hatch.
Did you tell your wife about you and Rob? Angel wants to know. The Rob and Rob combo.
The ice cream date? No, but I think I humped him in the morning when I had to climb over him. I fucking told him. I should have whispered in his ear, "Don't move. This will be over quick." I was fucking with him.
Do you enjoy driving the motorcycle? Someone asks.
Yeah, the motorcycle shit is fun. It's actually a lot slower than I thought it would be. I thought it would be a lot easier. I was gonna put M5 in it and put it on methanol and try to go like 200 miles an hour, but it's It's, injectors, fuel pump, and it's just it's just money, 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 money.
Yeah.
Everything is money. But it's a lot slower. I mean, I got it going pretty consistent, like 186 now, like all the time, and it gets there really fast now, but it's still not enough. So it's all right.
Rob says, guy bought me ice cream and all.
Yeah, I did. Me and Rob had a good weekend. I spray waxed his car. I even leaked that shit down.
Mugen Mar, we already went over the Aki topic, I think, plenty. It was quick, but it's not really a topic. They're no longer really talking, so it is what it is. Everyone hopes the best for each other. Where can I find a wife like yours?
I found my wife, and she's a recovering addict.
Wow.
She was I met her at a sexaholic.
She's about to turn off the Wi-Fi, guys. We're screwed.
She was at a sexaholic meeting, and I met her at a anonymous sex place, and I took her out the meeting, and we were both like in remission, recovery, or addicted to sex. So you find a good wife there.
Nymphos Anonymous.
Nymphos Anonymous. That's great. That's where I found my wife.
Wow.
Great.
Someone asked any tips for becoming better at drag racing. I know that you and Jason play that app.
Yeah, I actually have a tree, like a legit porter tree thing. So,
yeah.
Drag racing is the biggest thing, man, is to learn the track, dude. Whenever you can, they're cleaning the track and they're working on the track. Go out there and walk the track. Get to know where the beam is at, where your foot is at. Pre-stage, staged. How much it is to turn the bulb off, the top bulb. Just get to know it. If it's front wheel drive, how much tire is on it, what the difference between shallow is and deep is, how long it's going to take the tire to come all the way off the beam to turn the tree off. Because you could react to the light super fast, but your car is slow moving off the line and moving off the beam. Just get to know the lights and everything like that. And then after you know that, just consistency. Do the same thing that you did the round before that.
Is Noel a pain in the ass? Asked Sinister Greg.
Yes, Noel is an extreme pain in the ass every day of my life. But I love him, and he's family. So yeah, he's a pain in the ass, but I love him. I love him like this.
Someone asked, how do you set your alignment for the track? I can answer that for you. You call Rob Maps and you bring your car to him.
The alignment for the track is pretty simple. If it's front wheel drive, you want to put a little bit of camber in it in the front, and you want to toe the wheels out a little bit in the front. And then the rear, you can play with the rear. The rear could be pretty much centered and straight, no camber, no toe or whatever. But naturally, you watch a couple videos of your car launching in slow motion and get an idea of what the wheels are doing, and then compensate for that. And just play with it and make adjustments. We make adjustments all the time. We made a bunch of adjustments to Goldie before we went to Cecil County. It lost some front half. I tried something, went a little further than I normally do. I thought it would get better. It got worse. Monday we got back to the shop. I changed it again, and we'll find out at iRev if it liked the change. So it's just watching the car and making changes and adjusting it.
Trial and error. And does it change much depending on who's driving? Say a bigger guy in the car versus
front wheel drive cars. Yeah, when you get inside the car, the driver's seat. When you get inside the driver's seat, it pulls the front right wheel camber in, and then the toe is pretty good. The toe doesn't move that much, but yeah, it affects the front right camber a lot. It'll pull the camber in on the front right.
Someone says Norris went to sleep. It's way past Norris's bedtime.
Norris is a DJ. He doesn't start working until like 1 a.m. So
yeah,
he's DJing somewhere, right?
Berto asked a good question. What would you say to an aspiring driver who wants to be in your position in the future? Kind of went over that one.
Yeah, that's a great question. So when I was younger, I first started racing when I was 14 years old. It was in Huts Point. It was I think it was like an '86 Toyota Cressida. I went to jail and got locked up and everything. So I started as a driver of other people's cars, right? I was a little kid. Used to go to Huts Point. We used to bet money. This is like 2000s, early 2000, 2001. And I started racing like that. And then I had to buy my own car after that. I got my own car. And the biggest thing is just to have your own car and showcase what you want to do for other people. That's the easiest thing because nobody's just gonna let you get in their shit and not know who you are and just take your word on it.
Yeah.
Everyone is a driver, especially these days with social media, because everybody's like an expert at everything. You know, you spend 45 minutes researching something and you're the greatest of all time at it. You get
Yeah.
people that argue on Facebook about illegal aliens at the border and kids being ripped away. They've never seen it before except for what they've seen on the internet, and they argue with it like if they're an expert. That is like that for everything in life these days. So the best thing you can do is get your own stuff. You're gonna have to spend your own money and perfect your craft with your stuff. And if you have the opportunity, go out there and showcase it to the people you want to work with or drive for. Try to bust their ass, hopefully, or get your ass bust by them and put up a good fight.
Yeah.
And you know, put up a good fight and just showcase your skill. And then just tell them like, yo, man, I really want to work with you guys. I admire you guys. And that's it. You know, go from there.
There's another good question in here. How do you know when it's time to hang it up, basically? I know what it was. Is there a time you would walk away from racing?
Honestly, I can't tell you that, man. I don't know. I haven't got there yet. Maybe I am there and I just don't know if it's time to hang it up. I can't tell you.
You just won an event, dog. You're all right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know when.
Think about it. There's only really like 6 to 8 event winners a season.
Yeah, I don't know. So if the car starts scaring you, you know, if what you're racing is really scaring the shit out of you, maybe it's time to hang it up. You know, Norris has been racing for a long time, and he's driven Goldie a couple times I think at 2 or 3 events, and Norris is a great driver. And Norris gets out the car, and Norris tells me, "Bro, I don't know how you, Reynolds, Campos, or any of these other guys drive these fucking cars. They are scary fast."
Yeah.
So maybe that's a sign of you shouldn't be driving it because they're fucking fast. And if it scares you, you shouldn't be driving it because if it gets in a situation where if it scares you going straight on good passes and it gets in a situation where now it's time to be scared and like you're really gonna be freaked the fuck out then.
Yeah.
But,
I can't imagine. I don't know if I don't think I could do it. That's fast.
Yeah, at 185, 186, 180 miles an hour, when you let off that gas pedal and the fucking back of the car swings around and you see the wall on the other side of the track straight in front of you, it's scary.
Yeah.
But if you jam on the brakes and you freak the fuck out, you're going into the wall. You just got to try and drive through it, get the car under control.
My buddy Greg says when Mega gaps you, that's when you hang it up.
Mega's already gapping me as it is. He fucking pro races me every day.
He's going to have a YouTube channel of gapping my dad.
he's beat me a couple times in a couple races, a little faster.
Oh, man. This was good, man. We've been on for another 50 minutes. I think it's, you know, that we could answer questions probably for days.
Yeah. You got all your written down questions answered? You're straight?
Yeah, I got all the main, you know, how does the traveling affect the kids? We went over this in the beginning. The competition in the sport, you know, we've gone over all that. Different racers that are out there, who you wouldn't want to race. Reynolds obviously being top. You know, more. I mean, we could get into more personal details on the Preunto racing stuff, but I think we kind of went over that. Angel's your favorite. Norris is tough.
Yeah, Norris is tough. Angel's my favorite. Lon is a sweetheart.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all great people. Rob Reinen is a really good dude. He's misunderstood a lot on the internet. You know, people take him as like a fucking, you know, an asshole, I guess sometimes.
Yeah.
But he's a good guy, dude. He just answers shit truthfully.
Yeah.
He's a good dude, man. I've been racing with him, I guess, almost 3 years now, 2 years, 3 years, and he's a good dude, bro. He's a good dude. He's a really cool guy. He's down to earth. He's a good guy.
That's too honest for people.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of good people on the team. I very much enjoy hanging out with them too. So it's good hanging out with you, man. I can't believe we even talked before. Like, nah, 1 hour is it. 1 hour is it.
Yeah, I thought it would be over an hour.
Here we are on the second hour. So
yeah. All right. Well, thank you for having me.
Tell wifey thank you for letting us do this.
No problem. Hopefully you guys continue this and
yeah, we'll be at IREV. You'll be tuned into the live stream. I expect you on the live stream while I'm at IREV.
I'll be
watching Goldie, watching the team. So
yeah, hopefully the team does good this weekend and they can do a back-to-back, some back-to-back winning.
Yeah, good shit, Maps. Congratulations on your win again. Go watch the video if you haven't already.
Okay.
Stay saucy, man. Thank you for your time.
All right.
Later. That's it, guys. That's the end of the first live. That's what we're calling it, live. You can call it Sauce Talk. You can call it whatever you want. We may not do it every week, but we're going to do it every week that there's a race. The following Thursday, give the racer a chance to get home. I will ask the X front-wheel drive winner first, because that is our top class in our community right now. Then I will move down the list. If X front-wheel drive racer, some people don't want to do this. I've asked some people, they're like, I don't want to do that. I'm not comfortable with that. Okay, that's fine. So, some weeks we may end up with an index racer on. Yes, we will replay this Trust Fab. It will be on the page. For 24 hours, it'll be up. I believe I saved it to my phone, but sometimes it doesn't always work. So if it didn't save, I'll have to screen record it or something. But this was fun. Even if it doesn't save, either way, it was fun. We had close to 1,000 people in here at least. So yeah, it was really cool. I'm glad to have taken the time to do this. I like it. I hope you guys like it. I don't know what else to say. Go check out the YouTube videos on the Sauce Spot YouTube channel and staysaucy.com. Just like the banner says, even though it's backwards. But thank you guys for checking in, man. We're going to cut it off here. Everyone have a good night. This weekend at IREV, real quick, let me show you this. So, well, I got still 200-something of you in here. IREV this weekend, I myself am the sponsor of the Super Street class. Sauce Spot Super Street class. There's a True Street class sponsored by KLM. Ramey sponsoring 1050 Hitchcock on 1150 class. And there's a Pro Exhibition and Pro Compact. So we'll have cars like Supras, all that stuff coming out. So Huffy to is this Huffy? No, this is not Tesco. You're fucking me up. I'm laughing trying to read your comments. Yeah, so whoever wins, maybe it'll be Ramey, maybe it'll be Rafa, maybe it'll be Vinny D, maybe it'll be Wes Spree, could be David Campos. There's a lot of people that are planning that told me that they will be at IREP, and I told them all, I said, hey, if you're gonna win it, just be prepared for the live feed. So is Fast Guy racing at IREV? I don't believe so. I think he might be bringing one of their team's cars, though. I don't know if he's coming. So to spectate at IREV, I believe it is $20. Adult passes are $20. It says it on the flyer. You can go to on the page. I posted the same flyer, so you can take a screenshot, save it, show it to your girlfriend, tell her where you're going to be all weekend. Thank you guys for tuning in. This was really fun. I can't believe we did 2 hours. I only expected to do 1 hour. But yeah, thank you. And stay saucy. Make sure you comment on all the posts and stuff. Have a good night, everyone. Oh, I would love to go live with Jason Hunt. I need to contact him, make sure everything's good. That's a lot of stuff to take in when you have a crash like he had, so you don't want to put them on right away. I learned that with trying to go live with some other racers. Like, you know what? A week's not even enough time to comprehend all those thoughts. So give those racers a chance. And hopefully any racer that would like to go live and has something to say, please contact me and we'll try to fit it in. Even if it's not Thursday night, we can advertise any day of the week. We chose Thursday because it works for me and Rob. So stay saucy until the next one. Be good.